Well, hello there and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today I do have my prediction and preview ahead of Leeds United versus Hull City. It's the last game before the international break, and it's the first game after the deadline has shut. Yet the deadline has not shut yet, as I'm recording this, as most likely as you are watching this, if you are watching it within the few hours of it being released. It's 11 o'clock tonight, the deadline shuts, and if you are watching this soon after it's been uploaded before deadline day shut, I am live. I'm going live at 7:30 this evening, right through till 11 o'clock, or maybe beyond if we do have some of them post 11 p.m. at deadline signings, seeing in all the new signings and wrapping up what has been a very good, in hindsight, transfer window for Hull City. But now it's all about Leeds United versus Hull City. A big game, a big Yorkshire derby, maybe not at the right time for Hull City as we are still adapting into Volta ball, but it's still a game that we must compete in. So an injury update. There is only one injury update, and that's Andy Smith. He is the only fresh injury outage, and he won't be available to be involved. Other than that, everyone else is as is. No fresh injuries. You still, of course, have the Longman and Dukan Cynic out. Still no full return dates on them two. Along with the two goalkeepers in Harvey Cartwright and obviously Timothy Lotutala, who both still out, who probably won't even get any sniffing at senior football this season, certainly for Hull City. If they go out on loan, that'll probably be the only place where they can get it, as we've got now three keepers who are all worthy of starting week in, week out in the Championship, and maybe even you can make an argument for them starting week in, week out in the Prem. So goalkeeper-wise, we're pretty much sorted. Of course, we did see Cody Drammer return to the bench last week, and he actually came on in that 0-0 draw against Millwall, so he is still fit for this game. But we'll wrap into my Hull City starting 11 to see if I think he will start. And of course, as always, our starting 11 is powered by our friends over at Fanhub. If you don't know by now, what are you doing? Fanhub, it's a free app where you get rewarded for being a football fan for free. You get free rewards, you get t-shirts, you get beer, you get tickets to football games, you get all sorts. You can even get your money back on your season ticket for your respective club. Doesn't have to be Hull City, be whichever club you support. You can, there's a draw you can enter where you can get your money back for your season ticket, which is a fantastic thing. So why would you not get Fanhub? Download it through the link in the description. I'll find it on the App Store or Google Play Store. Use my golden ticket code HUL-IZR, and then you get rewarded for using that. I get rewarded for using it, so it's a win-win in all scenarios. Go and get the Fanhub app. You can input your starting 11 prediction for your team. You can predict who's going to score, the scoreline for your club, keep up to date on all the news around your club, check in at the games, and you get bonus rewards for doing so. So it's a fantastic app. Go and download it. So this is my Hull City predicted starting 11. Of course, Tim Volta, is still the manager. Yes, I was going to say he's the goalkeeper. He's not. He's not the goalkeeper. He's far from it. He's got three, if you include the two academy lads, 5 lads that I'd start in goal in front of him. I'd probably start Owen Foster in front of him as well. So he's very definitely not the keeper. He's the manager. But the keeper who I think will start is Ivor Panda. Of course, we have just signed a brand new keeper in the form of Carl Rushworth. And of course, we do have Raccioppi, who hasn't made a league appearance yet for the Tigers. Of course, didn't have the best of times in his debut in the Cup. But I do think that Tim Volta will stick with the guns and stick with the man who's been very, very solid so far in the league, and probably one of the better players for Hull City so far in this championship campaign, and in Ivor Panda. He's brilliant shot stopping, and I don't think Carl Rushworth has had enough time to warrant a start here. Maybe we'll reevaluate that after the international break. So then the defence, I see Louis Cole starting once again. He's been fantastic this season so far. Another standout player. Of course, Hull City's top goal scorer in the league currently, as Oscar Estupiñán isn't with the club anymore. So, yeah, Louis Cole with his 1 goal is the top goal scorer in 3 games. Alfie Jones, and obviously his partner, centre-back shot partnership, I think it's going to change to Charlie Hughes. We're all hoping it does, as I just love to see the lad get out there. He's not played a minute yet for Hull City. Has been on the bench since he signed. And so I'd love to see him get out there, replace Sean McLaughlin, who hasn't had the best of time adapting to Tim Volta's style of play yet. And hopefully that will change for Sean McLaughlin's sake. But Charlie Hughes, We want to see him get a start out there. And of course, at left back, Ryan Giles. You could make the argument saying that Cody Drameh could be at right back and Louis Cole at left back, as what we saw in the towards the end of the game on Saturday against Millwall. But I think Ryan Giles provides something, especially in that first half, and you can maybe make that switch at half time or at that 60th minute period that Tim Walter likes to do Ahead of them, we've got an interesting change coming up. So Xavier Simons, I wasn't really sure why he didn't start on Saturday. I understand if you want to keep Regan Slater in the lineup and obviously want to give Oscar Zambrano a run out there, I'd understand it, but I think Xavier Simons, he's a fantastic player. He's adapted very well to Tim Walter ball and deserves to start. You notice I haven't gone with Oscar Zambrano alongside him, though, as it is heavily reported and heavily reported that Oscar Zambrano will be facing a 2-year suspension from football due to the doping allegations. Oh, apologies for that. According to the doping allegations that he suffered during his time over at his last club over in Ecuador. And so we're unsure whether that means that he will start this game or play this game at all, or even return to Hull City. If these allegations are true and he does miss out 2 years, it does free up another spot for a loan signing. So we will really see that at the end of today. But due to the heavy reports, I highly doubt Oscar Zambrano will play in this game, and that's why I've gone for Regan Slater alongside Xavier Simons. There's an argument for Finley Burns to be involved in there. He was there at the press conference yesterday with Tim Walter, which could have some substance in it. Whether Finley Burns does start, but I think that Regan Slater and Xavier Simons will be the best CDM-ish partnership that you're going to find at the moment in the Tim Walter setup, and what I think Tim Walter's going to pick. Head of them, Marvin Mahelm. He's been fantastic. Can't put a foot wrong, really. Didn't have the best of games against Millwall, but still a very solid outing. Abdul Shamir, of course, it's the argument again. Will Jarvis deserves to start, but so does Abdul Shamir, and I think Will Jarvis will certainly be a heavily used bench player, certainly at this point in the season. And Liam Miller out on the left, hoping for another magic game from Liam Miller. Head of them, of course, we don't have an Oscar Estepinian yet, and we haven't signed a striker as I'm recording this. Of course, this will all change as deadline day rolls on, as Hull City are reportedly going to be signing a striker of high profileness later on today. But Mason Burstow, I predict, will start. Of course, Chris Bedia could start. It's a flip of the coin, really, between the two. But I think that we'll stick with the striker situation that we had in the last game, where Mason Burstow starts and Chris Bedia can always appear off the bench. So some other news. Well, it's been a busy day, if not week, for Hull City as always. Of course, we have signed Gustavo Puerta yesterday or the day before. No, 3 days ago now from Bayer Leverkusen on loan. And then obviously today we've had a double signing. Of course, I've mentioned Carl Rushworth already. And then just before I've recorded this video, we signed our 13th player, Casey Palmer, who is a permanent transfer. And he comes from Coventry City, another attacking midfielder who could fill in anywhere really in midfield, and puts in some nice rotation options for Tim Walter. So some fantastic news there. Abu Kamara, of course, the deal from Norwich City, which he's been working on for quite some time, seems to be all set and done. He's taking a medical down in London, and Norwich have reportedly made his replacement already with a Gordon from Liverpool. That is KD Gordon from Liverpool, who will be Kamara's replacement, meaning Kamara can come to Hull City on a permanent deal. So that one may be announced by the time you're watching this video, may not. As I say, tune into the live stream as you will keep up to date on everything there. Other than that, possibly 2 or 3 more signings to come today. Last meetings between both sides. We'll crack back onto the Leeds game, shall we? Of course, April Fool's Day last year was a bit of a foolly one. We lost 3-1. Yeah. yeah, we'll gloss over that. Of course, it was a 0-0 draw in the home fixture last season. We'll gloss over that because we should have won. Down to Adama Traore missing an open net. And of course, Adama Traore not at the club anymore. And then before that, we have to back to find a Hull City win. It wasn't even in 120 minutes. It was a penalty shootout win back in 2020 in the EFL Cup, which meant Hull City won at Ellen Road. Of course, we do have an okay sort of performance at Ellen Road. The outing on April Fool's Day last year certainly didn't reflect it. We'll look at the form heading into this game as both sides have had an unbeaten start to the season, bar the Carabao Cup. Of course, that doesn't count to the league. So Sheffield Wednesday, which is the side that they just recently played, lost, which Leeds beat them 2-0. Of course, we did lose to them 2-1 in the Carabao Cup, but it's the Carabao Cup, different competition, you play with a different play style, different players, all sorts, so we can't look at that too closely. But other than that, both sides have recorded a 0-0 draw this season, and then the only place where Leeds differ is that 3-3 draw to Portsmouth, where the probably should have lost, and maybe should have lost the West Brom game as well. So it seems that if we can get Leeds on the form that they have, bar the most recent fixture, we could head ourselves towards a draw or a victory. Of course, Hull City haven't recorded a win yet under Tim Volter in any sort of capacity. No friendlies, no league, no cup, nothing. No win under Tim Volter. Will this be the time for it? Of course, there's the table. Don't read into it. We're 3 games into the season. We're currently in 14th. I think if we win, we can boost our way up, all the way up to the playoffs. So it means absolutely nothing, the table at this point in the season. Just thought I'd slot it in there just to save the slide's sake. So I don't think we're going to win, but I don't think we're going to lose either. I think both sides come into this game. Leeds, of course, have lost a lot of strong players this summer. Of course, a few more could leave in the next few hours. Hull City have strengthened this summer, I must say. Of course, we have lost loads of players, but I think that our squad at the moment, especially with the squad depth that we have, the squad rotation that we have evolved, certainly means that we have got a very, very strong team. I think our bench is probably the strongest we've seen our bench in quite some time. Every player on that bench could put out a solid starting job for Hull City. So I do think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Goals for the Tigers coming through Marvin Mahelm. I think he'll grab his second of the season, first in the league, as he was the goal scorer in that Carabao Cup game against Sheffield Wednesday. And then Will Jarvis grabbing his first of the campaign, as he appears off the bench in my eyes, as he has had a fantastic start to the season. A goal may make it more prominent in Tim Volter's mind for Will Jarvis to grab a starting spot. So there's that photo of Adrian Ilajali that we all love. And I ask you to let me know down in the comments what your prediction is ahead of this game. Of course, it's an intense Yorkshire derby over at Ellen Road. Doesn't quite have as much riding on it as it does yet, but of course every game matters in the Championship, every point matters, and if we want to keep this unbeaten streak alive that we have currently in the league, then we want to keep a draw or a win. So let me know down in the comments what your predictions are ahead of this game. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and as I say, tune into my live stream, which is probably live right now if you're watching this. Then go and check it out. See all the deadline day action, and of course, stay tuned to the YouTube channel to keep up to date and everything Hull City, and I'll see you in the next one. Up the Tigers.